Okay, friends, getting started real soon. Hello. How is the volume? Let me know. Welcome back to Attack the Pantry. I am Jenn de la Vega. This stream is a deep dive into ingredients, cooking techniques, and recipes to help you cook for yourself during quarantine and, well, the rest of your adult life. Let me know how I'm sounding in the chat, and I'll adjust the volume if we need to. So last week, I took a break from food content to do a primer about civic action on a local level, how I participated in politics in the past, and a beginner's guide to anti-racism and being an ally to the Black community because they need it a lot right now, if you don't know what's happening and you've been under a rock. On Sunday, I also came forward about what happened to me in the chip community. You can watch that another time. Also, I talked about how I got started in the music industry and what we can do to build better spaces online and offline. 2 weeks ago, on a Wednesday stream, we talked about tofu, asparagus, and my childhood favorite, Spam. You can watch all the clips here on my channel if you click on videos. Twitch deletes the streams after 2 weeks, so I'll be uploading the archive to youtube.com/JENNDLV. Make sure to subscribe there if you can't watch at my regular broadcast times. Oh, thank you, Martin. Thank you for telling me it sounds good. Great. So I'm here every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays, again at 12 p.m. Eastern, I host another stream called Zine Dreams. 2 weeks ago, we looked at Put an Egg on It, issue number 9, an article titled Unfit to Print from Print Magazine, and an issue of Edible Brooklyn. So, I'm a Twitch affiliate now, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can gift a subscription to your favorite creators every month. I hope that's me. If you have one, click on the purple button. I think it's either above or below me of this video. It says gift a sub, and you'll get a little crown next to your name in the chat, like a few of the lucky people in here, like Martin and Lucius. Oh, the volume is a bit low. Okay, I will raise it. Thank you. Is that better now? Check. I'm hitting the yellow part on the sound meter, so I'm afraid of raising it even more. But if it's too quiet still, let me know, and I will change it. Great. Cool. We got lots of lovely links below the video. One way to help me out is to share them so that other folks can join in on the fun. Making so much stuff. Got new skate videos up on YouTube and here on Twitch. Can't believe I have 18 of them already. So Monday I had a double posting of them since I didn't post last week. Making a lot of progress, and I'm really excited to tell you about a longboard that I might be getting soon. It hasn't arrived yet, but I will tell you all about that another time. We have a new Fun City episode, number 19, coming in this Friday with my friend Anthony Carboni, our very, very first guest, and the very last person we had in the studio before we all went into quarantine. Last night we recorded a double stuff, fun chatty, with him, and it was super, super fun. So great to catch up. It will be coming out in 2 weeks from now, or a week from now, excuse me. Couple weeks ago, I guested on Critical Bits, their Twitch channel. We played a game called Pasión de las Pasiones, and they uploaded the archive to the Critical Bits YouTube page. I played the matriarch Elena Oleada, and I brought the telenovela drama. It was really fun. It's worth a watch. What else is happening? So I still have that pantry guide on Patreon. It is free and a living resource, so if there are items missing from it, I am happy to update that. This past week, I posted about turnip pickles, a secret skate video, and I also launched a pickup service for local food. as I keep testing recipes. So that's been really fun. I've been meeting up with people in McGolrick Park, which is very close to my house. So if you'd like fresh food during the quarantine, you can check out my Shopify store. New in stock on Etsy is my cookbook. I'm so dumb. I should have just had one in my... 1 second. So I've never really had a good way to send autographed copies out to people. So now on Etsy, I offer international shipping on the cookbook. With this, you get my lovely signature in it, but I can also dog ear recipes for your specific diet and give you advice about how to swap things out, because most of these things are meat-based and barbecue, but there are definitely ways to cook around that. I can't believe this came out in 2016? Really? Wow, like 4 years ago, but I have plenty of copies available here. It's in my Etsy store now. The link is below the video. No pressure otherwise. What else? Oh, with every book I'm putting in like a free CD and like recipe cards and other fun things around my house. So there's lots of goodies involved. Yes. So if Patreon, Twitch sub, or Etsy, all this stuff just isn't possible for you, you want to tip me for good cooking advice, my Venmo is below. Or you can tell a friend to just follow me on Instagram. That's also helpful too. Yes. So, how is everybody doing today? Today is Wednesday. I hope you're well. Let's look at what people cooked this week. So, my friend Devin sent me this one. It is a recipe on my website for green curry steak. You use a green curry paste and rub it on the outside of a steak and let that marinate for 4 hours or overnight, and then you can grill it up. He has it, I think, medium rare here, and you serve it with a side of apples, which is super, super good. Good job, Devin. Wes is on the road and sent a photo of pupusas. I haven't had a pupusa in so long. I really would like one now after seeing this. What else? Carly sent this photo of meatball soup. It looks like a minestrone with the elbow noodles and kale, but there's meatballs there and some Ritz crackers. I don't know the last time that I bought Ritz crackers. I kind of want some with some squeezy cheese and ham. Is that bad? I don't know. I love that sensation in my mouth. For those of you that remember that I was growing mushrooms, I tried to regrow it. So mushrooms have a growth period called a flush, and you're supposed to get like 3 flushes from a growing block, but mine hasn't started growing, but Kate and Anthony, who are my neighbors, report that their mushroom has grown another flush, and it is gigantic. That's insane. You can order a mushroom block from Smallhold for $15, and they deliver in New York City. Amazing. This was really fun to walk Martin through. Martin made Loco Moco, which is a Hawaiian dish. It's basically a burger patty with an egg on top and cheese, and then like a rich gravy. So this is like caramelized onion and pho broth, which is dope. Really, really cool. Because most gravy broths are usually beef. So that makes sense. Pho is made from beef bones. So, get it? Get it? What else we got here? Jeff sent over this beautiful whole chicken with like blistered lemons on a cutting board with a bunch of dill. Jeff always showing us up here with the food styling. Gorgeous. Did I miss anything else? No. Okay. So, what did I do this week? I apparently didn't import any of the photos. I'm such a dingus. We'll just skip over that. I'll talk about my stuff next week. Such a dingus. Wow. Oh, I know. My craving for Ritz and squeezy cheese is Lunchables, for sure. very, very fancy. It can be fancy if you want it to be. So, volume sounds okay. Let's just get into the first question. It's from Martin, who is in the chat. Yay, thank you for this. How to make a good smoothie. I haven't really been doing smoothies because I don't have a blender. Like, I did have a Vitamix, but I totally broke it. Isn't that heartbreaking? Breaking a $900 blender. It's awful. I mean, I don't feel that bad. I didn't buy it. It was given to me in a contest, and it still feels bad, man. Like, all that potential. Hello. Who is Athletic LT? Maybe it can be repaired. I'm just being lazy about it. Thanks for joining. We're about to get into a question about smoothies. So let's get started with that. So smoothies are not an exact... Oh my god, excuse me. I have pretty bad allergies, and I turned off the air conditioner. It is 80 degrees in New York. I turned off the air conditioner so you could hear me, but it is aggravating. Excuse me. My asthma. Hello. Where the food? This is not exactly a cooking stream. I talk about a lot of food, so it's not necessarily a food stream. I talk about lots of food. But, okay, let's talk about smoothies. Not an exact science, and it's based on your personal preference. But the breakdown is 2 to 2.5 cups of soft fruit and vegetables, fresh or frozen, or a combination of them. 1 cup of a liquid, that is usually juice or milk, and optional, 1/2 cup of yogurt or 1/2 cup of ice. These are both optional depending on what kind of texture you want. And then a teaspoon or 2 of sweetener. We'll go over all of those components in a second, but 2-ish cups of a soft fruit or vegetable, a cup of liquid, and then add-ins like 1/2 cup of yogurt or 1/2 cup of ice, and then a sweetener. Usually do the sweetener at the end because you've added all the other things, and then you can gauge from there after everything is broken down. So there are green smoothies. Not necessarily all fruit. Those are 40 to 50% green vegetables, like leafy things like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, celery, parsley, or broccoli. I would take off a lot of the hearty stalks because they won't really break down that well in the blender. So yeah, stick with the really leafy parts and some of the really soft stems. But if it like really crunches when you like break it apart, I would avoid that in a smoothie unless you like to chew your smoothies. Some people like that. We'll talk about we'll talk about the different kinds of ingredients. Tiger Uppercut asks, do you wash greens that say washed? Normally I wouldn't, but these days from the farmer's market and from prepackaged things, I would start to wash them just for a little peace of mind. Just make sure that you've dried them completely with a clean towel or patent softly with a paper towel or linen cloth, clean linen cloth. You don't have to because it says washed. A lot of the times the manufacturer means triple washed. But the way that they do it is the greens come down a conveyor belt. And the conveyor belt is not necessarily fenced. You know what I mean? Like, it's sometimes a flat surface, and so they're only washing, like, one side, and maybe they'll toss it and then, like, wash it. So just for peace of mind, I would wash it, but if you didn't die, like, don't worry about that. I would just continue as you were. Lucius has never made a smoothie, but you've had a smoothie before, right? You like bought one? Maybe. It's okay. Not everyone's a smoothie person. Like, I was on a smoothie kick a couple years ago when I was trying to be more vegetarian, vegetable forward. But it's like a practice, you know? You gotta get into the habit, and then you gotta wash the blender. It's all this. Yeah, you've had a smoothie. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. So we get to the technical part of this. Blender versus food processor. So when making smoothies, a blender is much more preferred over the food processor because food processors are like quart size. Okay, well, just if you remember how they look. Blenders are tall, food processor are wider. There's not enough drink volume if you're just making enough smoothie for one person. There's not enough drink volume to move things fast enough in there to break it down. You'll get like big ice chunks, you know, in a food processor unless you're making enough for like 2 to 4 people. And then that way you would have enough drink volume for it to break down. But food processors are not necessarily manufactured to lock in liquids like a blender is. So there could be some leaks. Like, I've definitely overstuffed my food processor before and gotten like Alfredo sauce across my chest. Like, it's not great. You know, the advantage of blender versus food processor is food processor has several pieces, you know, that you have to wash. There's like more parts, lots of nooks and crannies. The blender is like one vessel. But it will work if you don't mind picking out like large pieces of things or food processing it a little bit more. It's just not meant for liquids like that. But it's possible. So fresh versus frozen fruit. Fresh versus frozen fruit. This will determine your thickness. Using frozen fruit and vegetables, you don't need as much ice, you know, later in the recipe. If you use fresh, I would add ice just to cool it down. And the ice not only cools down the whole drink, it also creates friction. Like, it's a cold thing, but it's breaking down all that fruit material as it's hitting against the sides of the blender. It's also like, you know, electrons going ah and helping the smoothie become smooth. So yes, just be sure that when you're using soft fruits, it's free of any large seeds. Peel the fruit. If it has a peel, chop it into smaller pieces. If it's large or a little on the firm side. And speaking of firm side, more dense fruits like honeydew, cantaloupe, apple, and pears will give you like kind of a pulpy mouthfeel. Like, again, if you like to chew your drinks, that is a great route to go. But I wouldn't really recommend these harder fruits like honeydew, cantaloupe, pears, and apples unless they were super ripe and if you were using like a Vitamix, like a super high power blender. Because that will chop things up super fine for you. So if you want to make this part of your daily routine, it might be worth it to buy bulk fruit, peel it, and store it in portioned off containers in the freezer. So you could just, if you're not a morning person, you know, you prepped all this stuff, you could just go to the freezer, like, get one little container for your smoothie ingredients and blend it up. Like, that's one way to make it part of your routine. One of my favorites is avocado. Like, it sounds weird, but it whips up so smooth. You typically start with a milk or a yogurt as your liquid, but water in smoothies is fine. Like, it'll make a smoothie, but it's not that flavorful. So I'd be, you know, better off using a juice or a milk substitute or yogurt. Yeah, so you can use plant-based milks, hemp, almond, soy, oat. Start with a splash and see how thick it gets, and then keep on blending, my friends. There are ways that you can thicken the smoothies, because I kind of like mine gulpable, Like, I like mine really thin. So you might have a preference for more thick smoothies. You can use peanut butter. Any other nut butter, like almond and cashew, or even sunflower seed oil. You can use a banana. You could put in more fruit, basically. You could also use cooked oats, yogurt, and silken tofu. That is one way to use up tofu. Ooh, yes. Avocado and blueberry is the best. Great. Oh, you tried blackberries but always get hard seeds in the smoothie. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Anything that you know has seeds in it, I wouldn't. I actually don't have a blender right now. I did have a Vitamix. I haven't tried a Ninja. Yeah. What about frozen grapes? So, grapes have a pretty, chewy skin. So you could try it, but just know that it's gonna have a little bit of a pulpy mouthfeel. And then when you have the skin, you know, it's gonna, you're gonna get a little bit of that tannin like you would get from red wine. It's not impossible. I think, maybe not big grapes, but like little champagne grapes may be better for that. But I haven't tried it. Curious. Very curious. So the kinds of sweeteners that you can use: sugar, granulated sugar, brown sugar, honey, agave, whatever synthetic crap is out there right now. What else? Maple syrup. You can use pitted dates. Pitted dates are delicious in a smoothie. Whoa. It looks weird, but they mash up into a paste in the blender. So as I was, researching all of this, a question came up, like, what is the difference between a shake and a smoothie? There's a lot of overlap, but basically shake is short for milkshake. So that usually means like milk products or ice cream with syrups. Like, it has more of like a dessert connotation. Like, yes, we can have fruit milkshakes, we can have like avocado milkshakes, we can have chocolate milkshakes, but smoothies have more of a healthy connotation and are considered enough to be a meal replacement. So if you're making them for health reasons, watch out for that sugar content, because fruits have natural sugars and vitamins, but adding granulated sugars or sweeteners might undo all of that healthy stuff. So watch the balance, but it ultimately is up to you and your flavor preference. So we can argue that, like, milkshakes are a meal, but who are we kidding? Like, have you seen on Instagram, there's that New York place that has, like, these giant, like, milkshakes with, like, cookie crumble on the outside of it and, like, just piled high with cookies and things. Like, I can't really imagine finishing one of those, or, like, how do you even eat it without it falling all over the table? It's kind of crazy. Oh, dates are nature's caramel. That is a nice, I like that. That is a nice thought. Very nice thought. Excuse me. So, we talked about, like, thickness of a smoothie. Like, I like mine really thin, but there's also a breakfast trend of smoothie bowls. Let's check it out. We've got picture of a smoothie. This is a blueberry mint one. And then we've got acai bowl. Like, this is, I think I saw it for the first time in Hawaii. It is a health food craze where you make, like, a smoothie that is so thick that it is spoonable. And then you put more fruit and, like, honey and stuff on top of it. Like, this is another breakfast option if you would like to pursue it. For me, I don't really eat this much fruit. I should eat more fruit, but haven't quite gotten there yet in my adulting. This is another pretty smoothie bowl. This one's like a mango flavor, I think. But you can see that, like, all sorts of things can go on top. So there's fresh fruit, there's dill, there's pumpkin seeds, there's I think sunflower seeds, there's grapefruit, all sorts of stuff. You can go crazy with it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, yes, so that is smoothie basics. So the proportion again is just remember 2 cups of fruit vegetable material, soft fruit vegetable material, and 1 cup of liquid. After that, you can either add ice or a sweetener or more yogurt, but always remember 2 to 1 fruit to liquid situation. Cool. And if you want to explore more cool drinks for the summer, you should check out these few things you could either make at home or buy from Asian specialty markets. So there's one called Doogh. It's Doogh. It's a salty Middle Eastern yogurt drink. There is also Chas, which is an Indian churned yogurt drink. It's very different from lassi, which is a thick yogurt drink. So Chas is yogurt that is churned with water, and sometimes mint or cilantro is added. And then lassi is a thicker yogurt drink that is churned with mango. I mean, there's plain versions it's more thick to drink, but I prefer the mango one when I go to an Indian restaurant. Love it. And then there's also kumis, Kumis, which is a Central Asian fermented mare's milk. So that is fascinating. So many cool drinks to try out. Cool drinks. Okay. So, how many of you have heard about the drama that is going on at Bon Appetit this week? This is a little bit inside baseball for what I do. So, like, I write a lot of food articles, and I've never had to work with Bon Appetit, but I have a lot of perspective about what happened. So, for those of you who don't know, the editor-in-chief of this food magazine called Bon Appetit, it's here. I have one here. This is an old issue. Adam Rappaport, and he's actually here on the front in this Microsoft advertisement. He resigned yesterday. And this was after another backlash. Can you imagine? Backlash upon backlash with Alison Roman, who was a former Bon Appetit staffer, who is now at the New York Times. Yeah, I'll sum this up for you. So I hadn't been promoting a column that I wrote about this. I will start sharing it now, but I wrote a column about Alison Roman and Adam Rappaport specifically because I was worried. I just hadn't been sharing it because I was worried about my own backlash. But this was before he resigned and she took editorial leave from the New York Times. She's technically on a break, but not sure where she's going to go from here. I'm very curious to see what happens. The food writing world, for those of you who don't know what's going on, it's going through a white privilege reckoning, like a lot of communities right now. First, with this Alison Roman person, before all these conversations about race and Black Lives Matter, before we started talking about what our workplaces were like, she said some unnecessarily harsh things like a month or so ago about Chrissy Teigen and Marie Kondo. I'm not here to defend Chrissy Teigen, but she did this without prompt and to an interviewer, so she knew this was going to be published. The conversation in context was about her path to success, whether or not she would want to do merchandise. That is something we all do. We all think about when we're making creative things. We think about merchandise, do I want to make CDs? Do I want to make a shirt? Whatever. But yes, she can make the argument for not wanting to do that revenue stream. Not everybody has to make merchandise when you're kind of semi-famous. But she did not have to insult 2 women of color while doing it. So that's kind of what the beef was. So if you haven't read my column yet, it is up for free on Patreon. Basically, I recalled a moment where I stopped trusting her as a food authority. It was at an event sponsored by Bon Appetit and my residency publication, Taste Cooking. It was a series of live interviews recorded for the Bon Appetit Foodcast, which is their podcast. Adam Rappaport was on stage and he interviewed Alison Roman about her success around the viral cookie chunk shortbread cookies. He made some inappropriate comments about her vacations to Mexico and Italy, like a little too familiar for like your boss to be saying on stage, you know, in front of hundreds of people. She called him out on it, and it was strange. But when it came to talking about her success, she literally did a hair flip and was like, she had no plan. It just happened. I just went viral. Come on, man. Like, come on. She had an opportunity to shine a light on how others, like myself, could find some kind of success in the food world. She didn't disclose any tactics or privilege given to her. Did she not realize that people were looking up to her? I get not wanting to share your secret sauce or whatever, but she was clearly not acting with the writing community in mind. I stopped making her recipes after that. I muted her on Twitter. She wasn't somebody that I could trust anymore. Her recipes diluted ethnic flavor and did not cite her sources, which is number one crime in my mind, besides, you know, calling Marie Kondo a B-word. Anyway, so Adam Rappaport, he resigns. He's definitely responsible for some of Alison Roman's fame. Opening this old issue of Bon Appetit, Adam is responsible for layout and approving the content. Alison Roman's, she didn't have any bylines in this issue, but she definitely was placed. So she had like a comment about roasting chestnuts with her father, and this photo appears multiple times in the issue. It's like, you could have given this space to something else. Like, it's kind of crazy. So what did he do to tender a resignation? The tipping point was that he dressed up as a Puerto Rican stereotype with his wife on Halloween a couple years ago. It's like super offensive. You can Google it if you want. You know, just like there's blackface, there's also brownface. But besides this moment, it kind of brought up all the other things that he's done in his history of perpetuating a system of abuse at Condé Nast. So I'm proud of my fellow writers for speaking out. And that is what happened this week in the food world. I'm sure that there is going to be more reckonings about, like, the system and what kinds of stories are told, but Bon Appetit is going through a major shakeup, especially with the their test kitchen. It came out that all of the white hosts on the video series were paid per episode for their appearances, and none of the women of color were not, which is insane. So you can read all about that later on the internet if you just Google it. But that is the drama. Let's get to more positive stuff. Matt asked on Twitter, do I have a favorite condiment? Like, y'all, with these favorite questions, asking me about my favorite anything is torture. This is a crazy question because I have so much to say. Like, when do I not, though? I happen to be a judge for the Specialty Food Association, and we taste through all kinds of categories of food, and one of them is condiments. I dedicate a significant amount of time trying these and making recipes with the winners. So, this is not from Specialty Food, but it is one of my favorites. Lao Gan Ma Spicy Chili Crisp. How many of you in the chat have had this lovely thing? It's nicknamed Godmother sauce because of the godmother on the front. Lao Gan Ma. You can get this at pretty much any Asian specialty store. It is affordable. It should be less than $4. I think this one was like 3 something. It can be as little as 2. Lucius, you've never had this? Oh my, okay. So this is, it's not very spicy. I would say that it's pretty mild. It's got chili flake, garlic. It's got fried black beans that are the crisp in this. It's got soybean oil, onion. It has MSG, which is a myth. Pepper powder, and a few preservatives. But it is super savory and delicious. I put it on everything. My friend Kate introduced it to me. She bought a case like a while ago, and I came to her house and she sent me home with a jar, and I put it on everything. Oh my gosh. We love it so much that we made a zine about it. Lao Gan magazine. Isn't that funny? I think we are sold out right now. Kate, if you want a copy, I think you can check or put your name on a waiting list at lgm.kateray.net. I'll just type it in the chat here. It is lgm.kateray.net. So that's Kate's order form for Lao Gan magazine. At the bottom it says contains MSG. We made pins with the godmother on it. We have illustrations and recipes and the history of Lao Gan Ma. And I wrote most of the recipe section. So like scallion pancake, thumbprint peanut butter cookies. Instead of having a chocolate kiss in the middle, we put chili crisp in the middle, which is delicious. Sweet and savory, you know. We have deviled tea eggs. We have crispy treats, esquites, like so many different dishes that you can do. And we have a cutout. You can cut this out and put it on a candle. You have your own godmother saint candle. Is spicy chili crisp the condiment I see at every table in Cantonese restaurants? Not necessarily. So it varies by region. I would say, I don't remember which area this is from. But a lot of the ones in the restaurants don't have the crispy part. So they'll have the chili and the garlic and the pepper part, but they don't have the crisp part. The crisp is what makes this jar special. Yeah. So that's Lao Gan Ma. Lao Gan Ma has like a whole line of condiments. They have like black bean sauce. They have the chili they have the chili sauce without the crisp. They have fermented all sorts of products. So you can check it out at your local Asian store. I don't have a jar here, but another more modern version is Fly by Jing, which is a little expensive per jar, but it's a good treat. Like it has more of a sting due to Szechuan peppercorns than Lao Gan Ma. It also doesn't use MSG and uses ground up mushrooms for umami flavor. I'm a huge fan of any chili oil, actually. So in Oakland, there is a restaurant, a very small restaurant called Aztec Cali. And during quarantine, they started raising money by selling jars of chili oil. So this is like more of a Mexican flavor. It has, what does it have in it? Chili de árbol, olive oil, garlic, and sea salt. I love chili oils because they stay good for so long. So they can be stored at room temperature, unrefrigerated and unopened, but once you open it, you have to refrigerate it, and it will last up to 3 to 6 months, depending on what kind of oil it is. But this is a great one out of Oakland, Aztec Cali. They're selling them through Instagram. Look at me, I'm buying stuff through Instagram. I also found this one. I haven't opened it yet, but it's called Sao Noi Chili Oil with Lemongrass. This one is made in Oregon. Anytime I see something at like a roadside stop or gas station, specialty food aisles, I buy anything that is chili oil-ish. So this one has rice bran oil, onion, garlic, lemongrass, Thai chili pepper, distilled vinegar, cane sugar, sea salt, and paprika. I can't wait to put that on lettuce. Doesn't that sound good? Dang. Oh, you learned the term umami from Anime Food Wars. That is so valid. I love that. That is so dope. I need to get into that show. I have so many friends that recommend it. Haha, that's funny. Another condiment I really like that I highly recommend. I don't have a jar here, but Aria's Malaysian Kitchen. That's spelled A-U-R-I-A. She has a lime leaf sambal. So I'm sure you've heard of like sambal olek, which is like a chili paste, like red. But lime leaf sambal is like way more aromatic and like mellow. I really love it. I have been using it to marinate steaks and pork chops. Usually when you're marinating with any kind of condiment like this, you put it in like a zipper bag and marinate for 4 hours or up to overnight. Pretty much the same rule for most marinades, unless it's like a cut up kind of meat. But yeah, lime leaf sambal, amazing. Another Brooklyn made condiment, Brooklyn Deli, Delhi, like Delhi as in India. My friend Chitra runs that brand, and she makes an amazing tomato achar. Do you know what tomato achar is? It's like a pickled tomato paste. I've been putting it on like pizza and then kale on top and then baking that. It's so good. It's great with like on toast with like cream cheese. It has so many applications. You can like roast a chicken with it. Filipino condiment that I like is bagoong alamang. It is a bright purple brine shrimp paste. It is great on mangoes. A little goes a long way. It's like super salty. I have a picture of... So in the US there is jarred versions available. But in Iloilo, where part of my family is from, they sell them at the farmer's market in different, like, cakes or shapes. You see there's this giant mound of shrimp paste, and different vendors have different shapes that they sell. So you know, like, who bought, you know, grandma bought from which vendor if you know the shape of it, which is a pretty cool, like, concept. But this stuff is used in stews. You can have a little like teaspoon of it with rice just to make it a little bit more funky and briny. It is so good with manchego cheese and mangoes. Love it. So what other condiments? I would consider pickles as part of this category. I love a fresh kosher dill pickle. And I also love anything weird or funky. Like, not from like a Klassen's jar, you know, or anything that you would find in a normal grocery store. Like, for example, there's this company called Atina Foods. They're in upstate New York, and they make a lot of like Indian style pickles. So this one is called Inji Puli, ginger tamarind herbal jam. They consider this a pickle, which is like another kind of achar. But I'll read you this. Tina Foods adapts traditional South Indian Ayurvedic recipes to make unusually delicious, complex condiments that help balance health and diet. Combining whole fruit, roots, spices, herbal jams, and salts and pickles accentuate any meal. Hooray! So what is in this one? This one has ginger jaggery, which is an unrefined cane sugar used in Indian cooking. Tamarind paste, which we talked about 2 streams ago. Black pepper, vegetable oil, salt, fenugreek. Oh, that's a fun one we should do a stream about. Asafoetida and rice flour, mustard seed, turmeric, cumin, and curry leaf. So that is like a wallop of flavor in here of ingredients that I don't really use very much. So I'm excited to crack this open when I have some time. Yeah. What else? Mustards. When it comes to mustard, I prefer grainy stuff. And even better, have you ever heard of pickled mustard seeds? So if you can get a hold of just mustard seeds, like not made into sauce yet, you can pickle them. So the difference between making a mustard versus pickling is that you are brining the mustard seeds in a lot of vinegar versus blending them and breaking them open to make mustard. And so it's kind of like spicy caviar, which is pretty dope to think about. I'm not a huge fan of mayo, but I am a fan of aioli, which is a super garlicky Spanish style of mayonnaise, which is perfect for dipping crispy double-fried potatoes. Patatas bravas. That is delicious. One of my favorite Spanish foods. Another condiment that I've discovered working in restaurants. This one's from Cara Cucina, and this is only available so far as I've found at Fairway in Brooklyn. And it is called crema de carciofi e aglio, so artichoke and garlic cream. At my old restaurant, we used to call this crack. We used to call this the crack. I want some crack on some toast. It is so good. It is savory and garlicky. Ooh, wasabi. Mayo is your favorite. Oh, wonderful. Horseradish. I haven't really delved deep into the complexities of horseradish. Like, I've had a fresh root before that I've grated and put on a steak, but I haven't really done anything else beyond that with horseradish. Holy Schmitz horseradish. Well, that sounds good. My mouth is watering, guys. Good job, you made my mouth water. So that's artichoke cream. It is lovely. I've been trying to make like a copycat of this by blending, you know, mayo or cream cheese with artichokes, and I haven't quite hit the right texture of it. But this stuff is delicious. What else? So hot sauce. I'm surprised I didn't pull any out right now, but I have like a boatload of hot sauce. Martin knows this. I love hot sauce, and I was supposed to be a judge for this year's Hot Sauce Expo in Brooklyn, and you know, just because of quarantine, we weren't able to get together and do that. But it's really fascinating. A lot of people who make hot sauce who are into hot sauce are really into metal. And a lot of them have beards. And I definitely don't fit in, but I am welcomed as a hot sauce lover. Some of my favorites, I'll name drop them, are Love Boat with extra garlic. That one has like a viscosity of Cholula. So if you like Cholula, Love Boat with extra garlic is another great option. I love the entire series of Jersey Barnfire, but I especially like their black garlic sauce, and they also have a ginger sauce, which is amazing with chicken. It's like a great everyday kind of hot sauce. It's not gonna blow your palate away. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. And how many of you watch Hot Ones? Like, that's a pretty fun show where celebrities are trying to eat increasingly hot wings as they answer interview questions. Usually by the end, if they're not really a hot sauce type person, they're like euphoric. You can have like a drug trip off of hot sauce. Like, it is pretty wonderful. Like, my skin gets really sensitive, and like I touch my cheeks like after I've had a lot of hot sauce. I'm like, oh my. Have you had like ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers, like really, really hot peppers? Hi, Tony. Nice to see ya. Peruvian puff peppers. I actually don't know that. Do they look like a little teardrop? Or are they big? I don't know. I'm game for trying pretty much any kind of pepper. I've had the X pepper, I've had Carolina Reaper, I've had Ghost. I've had them diluted, I've had them in concentrate. I know when to stop myself. Oh, it's a made up from a Drake and Josh. Oh my god, I'm so old. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's so sad. Aww. Oh, shame. If you are going to venture into the world of hot sauce, I recommend picking up some milk. And if you're lactose intolerant, get some non-dairy milk. Peri peri is the hottest pepper you've had. That's a pretty good one. I like it when it's like steeped in vinegar. Yeah, so if you're gonna delve into the world of hot sauce, have either milk or not milk product. You can also eat cheese, drink beer, and eat bread. So if something is too hot for you, those are the ways that you can get the chili oil off of your tongue. So it's not necessarily trying to neutralize it, it's trying to get the stuff off of your tongue when you're suffering from hot stuff. One time when we were judging hot sauce, we ran out of milk, and all that was left was whipped cream, and so we were just spraying whipped cream into our mouths desperately. Oh, you're not a fan of hot sauce? Maybe you just haven't found the hot sauce for you. There are some really lovely, not so spicy, creamy ones. Oh, what's it called? It's from Texas. Formosa. Formosa hot sauce is one of my absolute favorites. It was friendly enough for my mother, who is not really into hot sauce. Oh, I totally get that. It's not your go-to. Totally get that. There are so many other condiments, clearly, in the world. Another condiment that I've been playing with a lot lately is, this is, full disclosure, my friend's brand. So, Mama O's Premium Kimchi Paste. So, this is, like, you can buy gochujang and you can buy, like, the Korean specialty ingredients, but it's, like, a lot of different things, and, if you're not going to be making kimchi very often, that stuff just sits around in your pantry for a long time. So this, like, ready-made paste, you can just put on cabbage, you can put it on garlic, and make your own kimchi with it. And I've been marinating meats with it. I've been spreading it on sandwiches. Like, it's super delicious, and it's made here in Brooklyn. Pretty great, pretty great. What kind of other condiments are y'all into? Like, those are my favorites, like, with Laogan Mat #1, if I were to rank them. Chili oils, chili crisps in general, I would say, are my #1 that I use the most. Yeah, it's true. Hot sauces don't have to burn. You are right. Yeah, what are y'all liking? What's in your fridge? Because I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I didn't mention, like salsa. Like, I love jalapa jar. I don't really like to buy ready-made salsa, but when I'm in a pinch, that jalapa jar is probably my favorite. I like to make my own salsa, you know. Like to feel proud of it. What else? Use a lot of wasabi. So use the green stuff, the paste stuff. Ooh, el yucateo, yes, el yucateo. Ooh, remoulade. Honey mustard. Hell yeah! This is a great spectrum of stuff, guys. Yeah, those are great hot sauces. They're also really affordable, too. The El Yucateo line. Or Yucateco. I thought it was Yucateo. Yeah, the whole wasabi root is a lot to commit to. I mean, yeah, you're eating it a lot all the time, but as a fresh root, as you're breaking down those cell walls, it's going to be a lot more, because that spice is like is a defense mechanism, excuse me. It's the more you break down the walls, it's going to be much more pungent than the tube of paste. Oh, spicy chipotle barbecue sauce. Hell yeah, that sounds so good. And you started eating ranch like 4 years ago. Congratulations! I'm so proud. Ranch is something that I love. I love. There is a ranch cookbook. I know the girl that wrote it. It's pretty wonderful. I make ranch with yogurts instead of buttermilk. Just so I feel a little bit healthy for, like, eating spoonfuls at a time or, like, dipping my whole pizza in it. But, yeah, I love ranch, too. I love olive oil. I love vinegars. I love all kinds of condiments. So it's impossible to ask me about my favorite condiments because I have so many. Oh, yeah, ranch was your go-to in college. Me too. Me too. This is horrible, and screw Papa John's, but, like... You know that garlic butter tub that they give you with the pizza? I loved that. Garlic butter. Ah. I would put it on everything. Yeah. This is amazing. I love condiments. Oh. Oh. So good. Alright, friends. We are at the portion of the stream. A few of you are new here, but we like to... Oh, goodbye, Martin. So this is the part of the stream where we pretend we're on Chopped. And so in the chat, if you want to name an ingredient, we're going to try to come up with a dish where they all can work together. And so everybody can participate. So in the chat, if you have an idea, like name an ingredient, and then we're going to try to mash them up. They can either mash with each other or all four. It doesn't really matter. The exercise is more for us to think about the possibilities of all these ingredients. While I wait for some suggestions of ingredients, I want to show you my lupini bean. I'm going to have to put like a chopstick for support, but this is a single bean that grew into a little tree. Look at it. Okay, wasabi. All right, we got wasabi in the chat. We got like maybe 3 more ingredients and we can try to put a dish together with it. Okay, I also got... This is a leek. So I saved the bottom half of a leek and put it in the jar of water. And it's been growing 2 new leeks out of the top, which is insane. So you can grow scallions this way, just like a little bit of water, like an inch of water. And let the top peek out and it'll grow these back. Crazy, right? Alright, we got wasabi. We got branzino. What else? Let's play Chopped, everybody. This is fun. I actually have never cooked a branzino. Well, starting with those 2 ingredients, let's say we do a wasabi crusted branzino, broiled. We do little slices on the skin so that it like opens up and curls out a little bit. Ooh, asparagus, okay. Complexity. We can use a vegetable peeler to shave the asparagus into ribbons as a side salad for the wasabi crusted branzino. We could do we could do grilled asparagus with the wasabi. We could do branzino salad, like you would make a tuna salad, but chopped up asparagus as the crunch instead of a pickle. Yeah, that's fun. We could do branzino sushi, duh. Ooh, pico de gallo. Damn, nice curveball. We could spice up the pico de gallo with the wasabi. Do some filet of branzino. Do maybe an asparagus flan. Have you heard of that? There's a savory flan that you can make. And yeah, it just doesn't have sugar. Ooh, that sounds good. We could do branzino enchiladas with like an asparagus in each of the enchiladas and then put pico de gallo on top of that. Ooh, asparagus ice cream. I don't know, I would try it. Asparagus and wasabi ice cream. That'd be crazy. I wonder how we could do it without overcooking the asparagus, because ice cream bases need to be cooked for like 20 minutes. Or maybe we steep the asparagus in the milk and then strain it out. Yeah, that would technically work. But I would worry about like the nasal, like the smell. Like, breaking it down too much would make your... I don't know. Overcooked asparagus smells bad. Oh yeah, tacos. Tacos are always a great idea. That's the thing about this stream, you know, we're trying to democratize, like, the cooking, like, and trying to make everybody feel like you can do it. So, yeah, tacos are always a great idea. Do you like crunchy or soft? I'm a crunchy fan. Branzino tacos with, like, an asparagus sticking out of it. Yes. Aw, no. Chopped it's just a mental exercise. It's not above you. We can all get there. Friends, it's just all about the mental exercise of what is possible. Yeah, fish tacos are amazing. Hell yeah. Alright. Maybe if someone names one more ingredient, we can have like a curveball and be like, oh god, I want to do that. Yeah, I love the Crunch or Crispy tacos too. Delicious. What else? Let me take a drink of water. Ooh, we could do fish cakes with the branzino. Do some pickled asparagus on top. We could blend up the pico de gallo into a finer sauce. Yeah. Ooh. Yum. We could do... What else? Could do a fish omelet. I always defer to eggs because I love eggs. We could do... What else? A fish stew. We could do branzino stew with a potato and some asparagus chopped up in there, and then like pico de gallo on top. Curveball, grape jelly. Oh shit. Oh shit, that's good. That's good. All right, grape jelly, grape jelly. We got a sweet now. We could make a spicy wasabi grape jelly glaze. A lot of Chinese, you know, like the sweet and sour chicken, plum chicken, orange chicken, lemon chickens. All of those are pretty sweet, like gelatinous sauces. So we could get away with a grape jelly sauce if we just dilute it a little bit. Fry the fish, coat it with the grape jelly sauce, add some of that wasabi. Yeah. Yeah. Buddha's hand fruit. I actually haven't cooked with one. I know that it's like a citrus, right? Yeah, grape sauce branzino, dude. Yeah, chutney when a fruit, yeah, chefs usually go to a type of chutney when fruit is added, for sure. So chutney is made with vinegar and a fruit. So we could do a grape chutney. Yeah, if we add vinegar and some of that wasabi, that'd be delicious. I would have to play with the proportions of it, but it's not impossible. And that is the point of this segment of the stream, is to open your mind to what is possible with cooking. Yeah, those are great. Yeah, I've always seen Buddha's hand at the store. It looks crazy, but I know that it's a citrus and that you can grate the zest and use it on things. So just, I think, even just like a steamed or broiled branzino with like Buddha's hand zest on it would be simple and beautiful. Buddha's hand and asparagus would go well together because asparagus loves all kinds of lemony, citrusy things. But together, yeah, branzino on a plate with asparagus and Buddha hand, that would make sense. Buddha hand and wasabi, I don't know until we try it. Next time I see one at the store, I'm gonna get one, and we're gonna stream about it. Attack of the Buddha hand. Cool. Yeah, chutney is wonderful. Chutney is wonderful. Friends, that was a great exercise. So good. Love expanding our minds about cooking. So, sorry, you have an awkward revelation. I hope it's related to food. If it is not, you can DM me on Twitter. So, that was a great exercise. Thanks for participating. I always appreciate y'all in the chat. So next Wednesday, I don't have any subjects planned. So if you have suggestions of what you want me to cover in the stream next week, go ahead and tell me in the chat, or you can tweet me at Randwiches, which is my handle here. I don't know where, how high it is. It's right here. Okay. So I'm taking suggestions of ingredients, recipes that you would like me to dissect for you, because if something feels impossible that you've always wanted to make, I can break it down into easier steps and explain like why we do each step. I'm a recipe developer and tester, so that is something that I do normally. So if there's a recipe that you want to learn how to do, we can walk through it step by step. Anything food related, I'm happy to answer that question. Even something that's related to the food industry, like biodegradable packaging is something we talked about a couple weeks ago. Why certain vegetables are available certain times of the year, you know, those kinds of questions. I love doing the research and diving in for you. What is your awkward revelation about food? Yeah, Lucius, glad I could teach you about smoothies. I mean, don't go buying a $900 Vitamix unless you think you're going to be using it all the time. They can be quite expensive. Oh yeah, it is tough if you don't have a blender. Immersion blender, a bullet, a food processor, you can do it that way, but, you know, I'm not in the habit of making them myself. Alright, does anyone have any questions that you want me to address for next week? Okay, spinach. I'll add that, yes. Happily, we'll talk about spinach. It is in season. Anyone else have any questions? Loving it, loving it, loving it. Well, cool. So, if... Oh, not saying any names. I was recently inspired by a grilled cheese made on the show with the initials GGG. Ah ha 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 ha. Let me tell ya, Guy Fieri is one of the nicest food celebrities I've ever met in my life. He is not like any of the other Food Network personalities. He is kind and he is supportive. And before I went on the show, he gave us a pep talk and was basically like, look, I am a producer on this show. I want you to be successful. So if you have trouble, ask me for help. And there was a moment when I was like super nervous, like in the middle of cooking, and he straight up like got a toaster for me from the supply closet. Like I was like, oh my god, I need to toast these waffles, and I like wasn't getting around to it, and he just like walked over with one and plugged it in for me. He's like super nice. It's not rigged. He didn't like help me cheat. He kind of just watches over your shoulder and like asks you questions, and sometimes they don't put it in the show that he asks like leading questions, like how are you gonna thicken that? That looks a little thin, you know, that kind of thing. But he's super nice. I had a really great experience with him on Grocery Games. For those of you who don't know, my episode of Grocery Games is up for free on foodnetwork.com right now. It is season 10, episode 5, the cheesy special. So you can watch that if you haven't yet. That's really funny. I'm friends with both Laura and Tracy, who were in my episode. They are great. I did not keep in touch with Jim. But it was a great time, long time ago, a couple years ago already, like 3-4 years ago. One of the recipes is in my cookbook, actually. So if you have a copy of that, you can check it out. The nacho recipe that I did on the show is in my cookbook. Anyway, so next week we're going to talk about spinach so far. So if you have any more suggestions, please tweet at me, Randwiches, or DM me on Instagram, and I will happily add your suggestion to the queue for the next stream. I hope you were really surprised that was me. That's funny. That was me. Yeah, that was me. So, friends, if you have any more questions, hit me up on socials. Let me know if you need help cooking throughout the week. I am here for you. I am on call. My Patreon is here to help you understand ingredients. There's so many free resources there. It's patreon.com/randwiches. I hope that you all have a really wonderful rest of the week and that you get some rest and relaxation and stay cool out there. Summer is hitting us hard. Yeah, so I will see you on Sunday if you want to hear me talk about zines. Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, and we'll talk about zines. So everybody have a great weekend. I like you. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.